Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 167 of the show of the Geek Bytes podcast. I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And today is a drinking day. There you go.
Yeah, adult beverage.
Yep, show. So this should be a fun show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be more controlled than last time.
It could be, drunk geeks. That'd be like a spin-off podcast where we get drunk, we just talk about geeky things. A lot more casual than this.
Sober or not, just without the violence.
Oh, Sober or Not. That would be another great name. Oh, man, a great high school band name. But I'm Ramon. He's Edgar Acosta. And every single podcast, we bring you the roundup of the week's best geek and tech news. We, of course, discuss that news and, of course, anything else we happen to be interested in that week. And this week in geek news, found some great stuff, including...
In Geek News, we'll talk about video game news. Batman penis.
Yep, true.
I want to say cock.
It's okay. Now we get that. It's fine. You said
that
it.
Rating.
There we go.
Okay, the rooster.
Yeah, we got the rating.
Aha, innuendos. PG-13, Deadpool, tons of superhero casting news, movie trailer showdowns, and more.
Absolutely. Now you know why we put the explicit content on the podcast about geek news. Before we get started, we go record to Geek News. Hans is there, hanging out. I bet you he's the one person watching.
I love them all. I don't care.
Yeah. Everybody who's showing up.
I love
all
you.
the people in the stream on Facebook Live. So Hans is, hey Hans, how's it going, man? If you're probably the one person watching at this particular second. But we start our show in geek news, including some great tech news, in my opinion. We have Oculus. Recently announced his last. Again, it's been a little while since we did the last podcast. So
it's going to be a big show.
A whole genre, a variety of news articles, including Oculus saying they're going to make a standalone high-end VR headset. It's going to be essentially doesn't need a computer. You don't need to insert your phone into it to make it work. It's going to be just this standalone product you put on. You got your handset things, and you go. And it's going to be $400. It's called Oculus Quest, formerly called Project Santa Cruz, and it's going to do inside and out positional head tracking, hand tracking, and including area scale. The idea essentially is that there are sensors on the outside that are going to alert you to you running into objects. So even though you have a headset on, hopefully you're not going to be like running into tables, knocking into walls, that kind of stuff.
So like vibrating or
no. I mean, it's going to show you. There have been other models of this, but essentially it's going to show you where the objects are around you. So if you're walking around and in your VR system, it'll be able to say, oh, there's a wall here, or there's a table in front of you here, and that way you know not to walk around. It's going to be entirely wireless. There have been other versions of this, including the HTC Vive, that do similar things. They do it differently, though. Like on the HTC Vive, the sensors are mounted on your walls, in your corners of your house, so that it maps the room before you even get started. In this case, those particular same sensors are on the headset itself.
Nope.
So yeah, it's too expensive for you, what?
No, I'm saying if you're going to go all out VR, we are literally in the future. It is Star Trek. You dedicate one room that is now the holodeck, and you will be rocking that set.
Yeah, but not everybody wants to dedicate like a specific room just because I have a space to do
Unless you do it outside.
But even then, like as long as you have a large living room, you should be able to like move around a little bit, move around. They're not going to ask you in these VR games to like run across like a super long field yet. It's just like, oh, you're staying relatively in one place and you're just kind of like moving around.
VR in an open field.
Yeah, I mean that would be really fun, except that you have to track things. But and the big thing here is that it's wireless. You're not connected to like a computer by cables, which is always like a safety hazard. So this to me seems kind of cool. The price isn't bad. It's about the same price as a PS4. Only does virtual reality, man.
But remember, PS4 you had to buy the console and the headset.
Well, no, like the PS4. Yeah, so this is not as expensive as just buying a super fancy VR computer. So there is a difference, but to me, it seems kind of cool. So there
Definitely.
You go.
Hopefully, the main thing with any kind of game console / VR set, it's all about the games.
Yeah, some of the bigger games that's actually coming out for this is a Star Wars experience where you're playing as a Jedi as one of their opening like programs. So that's always fun. Okay, another entertainment game news. Telltale Game Studios is apparently shutting down, and it's pretty sudden. I mean, it happened a couple weeks ago, but apparently the whole like process of them like working on games and like being like super like excited about their whole slate of projects, and then one day the employees came in and they're just like, "Oh, sorry guys, you're all fired." And
so what happened?
They essentially laid people off because they were apparently this has been like a whole issue for this particular company, and that it kind of comes down to money, but it also comes down to their production schedule, and that they were making deals with companies for like big name intellectual properties and promising the world, including like really short deadlines. And the game company would again and again kind of push and do a bunch of overtime and a bunch of like hard work just to make those deadlines and do shortcuts and patch later kind of things. And it was like this whole kind of company philosophy of just like rushing and
knock it out.
Yeah, and without like having the backup of like, taking the time to like save some funds. And that's one of those things when you're doing a bunch of projects. It's kind of like building houses, and that if you don't, you have to pay a lot of money up front before you actually get the money back. You know what I mean? And so if you're paying a bunch of money out for a bunch of projects and you don't have the revenue stream to back it up, you need investors. And apparently at this particular time, a couple weeks ago, they thought they had some good investors, some foreign investors and a domestic investor, including AMC. But at the last minute, they both dropped out, which means they had no cash flow to pay their employees or to continue on future projects. And so literally from one day to the next, it was just like, we're working great. And people were suspicious, but they're like, and then they were called into a big office meeting and they're like, sorry guys, we're done. That's it. You have healthcare to the end of the month. But this is it. You have an hour to leave.
Here's your walking papers. Get out.
They literally had like an hour to leave the office, and there's still apparently a skeleton crew. They're working on a few other projects that they're already contractually obligated to finish. But the latest news from today is that they've actually reached a deal with Skybound Entertainment to finish off The Walking Dead final season of their particular Telltale game series, which is founded by Robert Kirkman, who was the original creator of The Walking Dead. So it's just kind of funny that they couldn't even finish that last little project. The one that they're probably the best known for, like The Walking Dead Telltale series of games, is the one to kind of put them on the mark, saying, this is super well done. This is good storytelling, but it's also a fun kind of like choose your own adventure kind of story. So it's kind of sad to see a game company just die like suddenly to most of us.
Yeah, I did you play any of the game series?
Yeah, I totally played Telltale. I totally absolutely played the Walking Dead franchise, and that's definitely the one that I'm most familiar with. But also, I played the Batman versions. I played the Borderlands versions, and those are the big ones. I never played Game of Thrones. I was never into the show too much, but like these were entertaining games, and just playing those first Walking Dead games is like, there's definitely like an actual story here. It's not just like clicky buttons or like weird quick time event kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not a button masher for sure. Yeah. And I love the option. Obviously, if you kill a certain guy, the storyline is going to go this road, or if you save somebody,
it's very choose your own adventure stuff.
It was fun. I did try it a couple games, but I didn't fall in love with it. Sadly.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing. Like part of the criticism for the company was that they never diversified, they never changed to not be pegged into like this one kind of game model. And even though they did it very well for most people, some people didn't like it, or it got kind of boring after a while. Maybe they just, whatever the case is, and because they didn't diversify, when they couldn't get funding for it, it's just like, we're done. That's it. And that is unfortunate. So, but again, game companies kind of come and go, and it's unfortunate to see that one go.
Yeah.
Okay. More entertainment news we have. Capcom this week announced that its popular Mega Man intellectual property scheduled to be adapted into a live-action Hollywood film for the very first time. The feature film, tentatively titled Mega Man, I'm not sure what else they're going to call it, will be written and directed by Henry Jost and Ariel Schulman. It's scheduled to be released by 20th Century Fox, the Churnin Entertainment division there, which is the same people who made Planet of the Apes.
Wait a minute. Fox. So is this pre or after Disney?
That's a really good point. The merger between Disney and 20th Century Fox isn't done. So until that finishes, I'm assuming it's just going to be 20th Century Fox at this point.
Okay, then I'm kind of sad that it's going to go that route, because nothing against you, Fox, but Disney obviously knows what to do with their.
Well, it's not like Fox has like not made any good movies ever.
Name one.
Look one up. I mean, they make movies for like a really long time, so it's not like they don't know how to make a movie.
My thing is hopefully they don't go the route of the X-Men series.
This is still very like pre-production, so even if like the merger goes through and Disney takes over, it's like it's not like it's they don't have time to like rewrite the script, like the amazing Mega Man script of like, this guy kidnaps my he started making robots and it's my job to go kill the robots.
You mean Terminator?
Yeah, that's it. They're making Mega Man Terminator film, and that's the amazing twist at the end of the story. But again, there's always the fun like posters about Mega Man coming to life, and this is just a fun fan poster, but still.
Now, did you ever watch the animated series of Mega Man?
Yeah,
either the anime or the one that came out like Saturday night.
I've seen several versions. Oh, he's watching the Saturday night version, ladies and gentlemen. That's an entirely different kind of film.
Mega Man X.
Yeah. Which just came out, but still. But no, I remember watching the original cartoon series, which is very kind of campy, like Adventure of the Week. I also actually liked there was a version of it that was an anime version where it was on the net, and there was like the Net Fighter version or something.
Network.
And that was to me a little more entertaining. There's a little more like RPG-ish, like let's modify these characters, and it was definitely based on the Mega Man network game of the same name.
Yeah, I even played the Mega Man RPG game with the whole Trombone family.
Yeah, the RPG stuff is always better for me personally.
So it was cool. Hopefully, if they go the route of it, if they want to go old school basic ones, they'll have, of course, the basic Wily bad guys. Though I'm just wondering if they're going to go cartoony, because they always had. You'll see like fan versions of the Wily character.
No, it's supposed to be a live action movie. So how well it's going to do, I don't know. But in the age of like Wreck-It Ralph or like Jumanji, the video game-ish kind of section, like apparently things are going more and more CG-esque. I'm kind of curious.
That route
I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do with it. I'm hoping for some mix of like Tron and just like a live action version. I think the net version is like the best version, just because it's a real person, you have a real life setting, but at the same time you still have that same kind of Mega Man game aspect of it. But they can do whatever they want with it. It's a pretty open project. Like there are very few aspects of Mega Man where it's like, you have to do this to be Mega Man, and those include he transforms weapons, and that's kind of the only thing you would have to keep besides a few like key like monsters.
They did different versions of it. There's one animated series where after he beats the crap out of the bad guy, he literally touches them and absorbs their power. There's this other series, I think it was the Mega Man X chip something, where he literally took like a little chip and inserted it into his form, and suddenly he got that ability and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. I want to see, hopefully they go more into the lore, if you will, of Mega Man. So I wonder if they'll actually call him Rockman and Roll.
It could just be like some tournament style, like Dragon Ball Z ripoff. We never know. The video game curse is still alive and well.
Exactly. We know for a fact that they can definitely make a bad version.
We're all assuming it's going to be bad, and we're just going to be surprised if it's good at all. So there you go. Okay, more entertainment news. Batman's junk. Apparently, what was Bat junk. Yeah, there you go. If you're a DC fan, you probably already heard about this before, but apparently in Batman Damned #1 by Bryant Azzarello, recently revealed a whole new side of the Cape Crusader, his naked genitalia, his penis, his bat penis, as is in our picture. Following this, censored. A genital rights organization apparently got mad at the company. And it wasn't because they were showing his penis, apparently. It was because they showed it as being uncircumcised.
I was going to mention that.
That was their issue. That it wasn't, not that we were like showing like a vague outline of Batman's penis, but it was that, he's circumcised, apparently. And that was the thing that made them angry.
I didn't know the Wayne was of the chosen people.
It could have just been like, it's the 70s, this is 60s, whatever it was, and that's what they do for everybody. So it's like, okay. It could have just been a product like his when he was born.
I think that's going to be not necessarily an issue, but something's going to push like, dude, Batman, he's of the chosen people.
There you go.
He's Jewish now. Yeah. Explains all the money.
Wayne is a new tribe of Israel. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was their issue. So, but the company took the penis out entirely just to avoid it all.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. It looked like he looked pretty thick. I'm like, good for you, man.
Girthy?
Yeah, girthy.
Impressive?
No,
average?
Seemed average-ish. I don't think they were trying to make him like, a sex idol or anything.
No, because it's very silhouette-ish, because obviously you see the dark background and everything. So it's not like he was all like manscaped, the Batman logo.
No, they just kind of showed
pubes or
part of it and
like
like the head a little bit, and they're like, he looks circumcised.
That was the part that I was surprised. I'm like, he's literally uncut.
Yeah.
Cut. So I was like, all right, way to go. But I wasn't sure what was the route on it. All right, well, I don't know. Do you think that that helps his detective skills to be a cut man?
I don't think it has any impact on his life whatsoever.
More sensitive?
Yeah, it's just a thing. I'm not sure why they actually have it in there, except to like maybe push out the broadcast of like, oh, the Batman #1, the Damned storyline is going to be new and exciting and edgy. Look, they're showing a penis, and then they take it out at the last minute. Like, so it's kind of a drama, not drama.
Well, there is a print out there, and there was a digital format.
Oh, there's
so if
definitely
you're one of the
pictures out
lucky
there, man.
ones,
Yeah,
it'll be worth a couple bucks.
It's a thing if you want to go look it up. Okay, more entertainment news. We have apparently there's going to be a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And that's mostly because they're pushing back Attila Battle Angel to February the 14th, 2019. It was originally slated for a Christmas December release, but because they're pushing it back, they have an open spot in that schedule, and so they're going to do a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And they're going to start it off with a very funny cameo by Fred Savage, reprising his role as the Princess Bride in that character. And so Deadpool's going to start off with like reading from a book the same way that Grandpa did in that movie.
Yeah. The Santa hat was what really made it, because they're like, okay, what's with the Santa hat? So it's something Christmas related. Of course, Fred Savage. Now, do you think they're going to, other than this parody of The Princess Bride, is he just going to retell the story again, but just cleaned up version?
Yeah, that's all they're really going to. They could probably cut out the curse words. I don't remember there being any more nudity in there at all, but maybe some of the more adult suggestions.
Well, spoilers, that you watched Deadpool 2.
Yeah, we saw it.
So obviously they're going to have to think of a creative way of showing a Juggernaut getting violated.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they'll have to cut out a few things. But still, it's a PG-13 version. I don't know, some adults are genuinely like excited to take their kids to see the movie who are like a little younger than like 15, 16. They're like, oh, this might be a little too much for my 12-year-old. But now it's PG-13. They're like, oh, this is an exciting movie. I can experience this as a family. We can go together. And that might be what they're looking for. Another take at the poll.
Now, what do you think? Because this is the rumor between Deadpool and Venom getting both a PG-13 rating. They're doing that intentionally so they get tie him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they could actually work him in eventually for rating wise.
Deadpool already has an R-rated version, and it's already going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Disney's going to take over properties. They already said, oh no, we're definitely taking the X-Men, we're taking Deadpool, we're taking all the exciting stuff. But Venom is not a property of Fox Entertainment. It's a Sony property because Spider-Man is a Sony property for the cinematic universe. And so they might want to include Venom if it's a success. Right now, as of this moment, I think it's made something like $10 million with its pre-opening weekend and its weekend take. Like, they're really trying to push that it's a success.
It's a lot of mixed reviews.
And money-wise,
fans, yay.
Well, it just kind of depends. Like, a lot of the critics are split between, oh, this is super stupid, and the other people are like, no, I haven't watched it. I'm not judging until I see it.
Yes.
But other people are like, oh no, this is a buddy cop thing, and it's kind of funny. But enough people will. It's sort of like a buddy cop concept in that it's Venom and Eddie Brock.
The symbiote in him.
Yeah, Eddie Brock and the symbiote Venom. They talk to each other. Apparently, the symbiote is interested in his love life and getting him laid for some reason. It's a whole thing apparently in the movie. And that's where that buddy cop aspect comes in apparently.
Lethal Weapon, but with Venom.
Sort of.
And one person.
And people being eaten. Like a more deadly version of Lethal Weapon. But ticket sales are going to be the ultimate decider whether or not this thing gets a sequel or whether it gets expanded. As long as people go to the theater to watch it, whether they hate watch it or love watch it, I don't think the movie studio cares as long as people go into seats. So
yeah, because when it comes to the world of the filmmakers / companies, it's all about this.
Yeah, and we know already the cast is already booked for a second movie. Assuming the studio wants to go forward, like the main character and Woody Harrelson are also booked for a second movie. So that, as far as they go, they have a contract saying they can go forward as long as the studio goes forward with it, but the studio's not going to go forward until they see, is this going to be successful enough to justify the high CGI cost?
I get you.
Yeah. Okay. More stuff from the internet and entertainment stuff. We have this story is a little weird to me in that. This is already a little moat, but it's the new Titan show from DC Universe. They apparently, before their launch, which had already happened, apparently they already got a second season. So before they actually showed up, they were already getting a second season renewal, which seems a little weird to me unless you think DC Universe just needs content. They don't really care if people watch it or not as long as they're subscribing, but they need things on there, and this has created enough buzz that of itself has created enough subscribers to justify a second season, apparently.
Now, Okay, I get it. The concept of obviously because Disney's coming up with their own.
Yeah.
DC obviously has to come up with some more stuff. Do you think they will pull all their other content from other because obviously you got Titans Go.
I think they're going to do
Cartoon
some
Network.
second tier stuff. Like probably not going to touch the main characters. Probably not going to do with Superman, unless it's like the older stuff that they already have in back catalog, which is just putting on a streaming service. But they're probably not going to create any new content for Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman or Aquaman or wherever. But they are doing second tier stuff. Remember, they are going to do something for who was there? There's first some villains. Oh no, that was Marvel. Never mind. I was thinking of them doing a Loki movie and the Scarlet Witch show. Like they're doing those for television. But so DC can very well do like some second tier characters for their DC universe. Well,
Because my thing would be the extreme route if they want to go is like whatever F it, we own it, pull the CW stuff and put it on their.
they could
their
if they
network
didn't, if they wanted to lose money. Like that's
Exactly.
that's ultimately a
Huh.
moneymaker for them. Like that's already successful. So don't mess with the successful formula.
Well, that's the thing.
but
Because
they could do alternate versions of some of those characters.
no, because I was talking about that. I'm just recently listening to the podcast, and I was actually listening to Stephen Amell Arrow.
Yeah,
Green
the
Arrow
Arrow-
guy.
the Arrow
He's all like,
podcast, yeah.
they asked him like, dude, obviously you can't play this guy forever. Eventually, once the time runs out, you know, what are your plans or anything? Like, well, I'll keep doing it because he literally just did the show for a paycheck as an actor.
Yeah,
But-
everyone gets to live.
Exactly, but
Now
as
he's
for
a fandom.
exactly, but as a company that wants to have a franchise keep going and whatnot, and especially it's a lot harder with live action people because heaven forbid contract negotiations.
Yeah,
they
something
screw
just goes
something
wrong,
up.
right.
They die.
Yeah.
They piss somebody off and whatnot, and get written off or whatever. They got to figure out how to make the story, the character, keep going because they got to make that money.
Right. I mean, even in this case, even the Titans, you have Robin, you have the Red Robin, you have all these other characters that are relatively well known. So that, even though they're kind of second tier, they're not like so second tier that they're not known at all. So DC is willing to use some of their more highly visible characters. So good for them.
Anybody in the DC world, cartoons, whatever that you would like to see?
Well, they're already
in their
doing
network
Swamp Thing. They're doing Swamp Thing. They're going to do Doom Patrol. Titans is their first thing out of the gate. That's original content. Besides the main characters, they're already doing a movie for the Green Lantern Corps. Maybe a Kilowog show. I don't know. Like maybe choose one of the lesser known lanterns from out in space and do something with that. I mean, you could do. I would love to see Constantine get his own show back. That would be kind of nice.
Oh, definitely.
They've been doubling down on the animated stuff recently, like showing like film after film of the animated version. And Constantine is coming back in the what's that one for CW? The where
One of their shows?
no, yeah, one of those
Or his own
It's
show?
one of the CW shows.
If it's not Arrow, it's the Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Remember, Constantine's coming back for the Legends of Tomorrow for like 2 episodes.
Okay.
For like the next upcoming season with like Supernatural episode, and it's the same actor from the original Constantine television show. So he's coming back in that. But I'd love to see him get his own show again and just kind of do it right instead of toning it down.
Okay. But anybody that you would like to see, at least from your knowledge of the DC
Constantine?
world? Really?
Yeah,
You like Constantine?
Usually
That's
Constantine.
cool.
Constantine's kind of a fun magic character. He kind of takes the role like supernatural detective, the same way that Jim Butcher's characters do for that particular series. And I think that would work very well for the DC universe, and that it's a supernatural mystery of the week. And I think that works.
I would like to see, and I agree with Kevin Smith, like a street level kind of character, like in the world of Daredevil, but use the question.
It would work basically like a poor man's Batman.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
yeah.
kind of what it is. It would be a detective show, basically. So
Yeah.
that would work. Now, speaking of characters from the DC universe,
yay.
we have apparently a new voice of Harley Quinn, and it's Kaylee Cuoco. She's going to do the voice of the new Harley Quinn animated show. So because her time at the Big Bang Theory is ending this season, apparently she has a bunch of time, and she says, "Oh, I've always loved animation. I did it years ago, and I haven't been in the animation world for a while. Harley Quinn is so edgy. It's obviously a very adult comedy with such a world-renowned character. It's been a blast to record." I'm like, yeah, they gave you money.
The check cleared.
Yeah. I doubt that she cares at all for the character.
Honestly, I like her. I love the Big Bang Theory. She's good. I don't like, even when we watched the Batman Harley Quinn movie, obviously they used a different actor. I don't know, was it Tara Strong or somebody else? I want to say it's Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Obviously, she's not the original from the Batman animated series, but I don't know her version. I know the Penny character, and obviously Penny character is not her all her life. But the only things that I've seen her do, it was like the Priceline.com commercials. You ever watch those? That and so she did a TV movie where she was like some kind of a Lifetime movie where she was obviously getting beaten up and whatever.
Right. No, I doubt that they're hiring her for her great voice acting work. It's just because like, oh, look, you have a semi-famous name right now, so let's capitalize. And then she's like, yeah, let's do that.
I would have definitely hired the original Harley Quinn voice lady. I can't think of her name. Sorry,
that's fine. Well, look, whatever is people's on the show. If her name on the package of the show gets people to watch it, great. That's what they're looking for.
Like, don't get me wrong, look wise, she could probably pull it off as a live action, but the voice,
I'd be so annoyed.
Harley, it's all about the voice.
I would really be so annoyed if she did the live action. The animated version, I don't really care. If this was a live action production though, but like, I would be super annoyed that she got the role just because she was in The Big Bang Theory. That would definitely annoy me, which is not the case. But she's just doing voice acting work, and anybody can do it. Well, not anybody, but like, they sometimes have famous people who aren't as talented because they bring name recognition to maybe a lesser known project, and it brings their fans into this other property. So I get why they do it.
Now, 2-3 lines I would want to hear from her to me to satisfy that she nailed it.
Hey, pudding.
Yeah, that / hey, Mr. J, and the laugh.
Yeah,
the laugh is what really makes it like, hey, Mr. J. I obviously can't pull it
off. And every actress who's done it has done it a little bit different. So it's expected to change a little bit.
Because all I'm just gonna see is Penny with pale skin and braids or
there you go.
Pigtails. Yeah.
Okay, another animated news. Apparently, we can do a live action version of Lilo and Stitch. So. There you go. Disney's just doing all their properties live action version now, and this one seems like the weirdest to me to do as a live action version. I mean, because most of the characters in that film are human, and so the translation was probably isn't that hard. But like, maybe just like the aliens are animated, and that's it. So like, what's the point of
give it up to our Polynesian folks, man? Yeah. Give them some work. But yes, obviously the greatest example that for at least a live action / CG character that's going to be involved, other than Christopher Robin that just came out, Dumbo that will be coming out.
Yeah.
So you'll see it. It's not going to be anything similar to like all 2D animation like Who Framed Roger Rabbit in a 3D animated world. I'm interested in how they're going to go because have you seen Christopher Robin?
This movie's, I haven't seen it. I've seen the commercials for it, and it looks really well done. It's fine.
Watch it.
But this one, Lilo and Stitch, to me, isn't that old that it needs like the bump of like, oh, let's redo this thing. It's a Disney classic. Reboot. I'm like, yeah, all those other movies are definitely like decades old. This one is like a decade-ish.
Once again,
so I'm like, I get why they do it. Money. I'm like, the only benefit is like, oh, maybe I'll hire Dwayne The Rock Johnson to play a character. And that's kind of the only cool thing that I think drawing new people into.
I think she's a little old, but I would, because the original voice of Nani, Tia Carrera, I had a big crush on her. Do you know who she is?
I think of her the name.
You ever watch Wayne's World?
Oh, yeah. Well, she's definitely old.
She was the rocker chick.
I think she can be a grandma in there.
Wow. She's that old?
She's definitely that old now.
Yeah, well, she's not a teenage girl, but oh my god. Oh, I'm in love again. Just looking at her.
She's like 51.
Still.
I'm just saying.
I'm not into the GILF thing, but if that's 51, yes.
There you go. I mean, she's not like
I see it,
bad looking. She's probably sure with the audience.
We're getting up in there in ages because let's be honest. Us, and I say that our current generation that grew up on a lot of 90s, 80s cartoons and whatnot, we're up there now. So
I guess she could like probably play mom, but like she probably can play the sister.
Okay, that definitely. I can see her playing the mom and obviously being whatever. Say they do a flashback. Like she dies, yeah. Because that was the whole spoilers. If you haven't seen Lilo and Stitch, they died in a car accident and whatnot. This is definitely an opportunity for a new name. Now, I really doubt they will go that young if they were to do a live action Lilo. As for Lilo,
I'm thinking
it might
like
go
10.
Teenage.
I'm thinking 10 or 11. Like the main character has to be kind of dumb. I mean, like uneducated, to think that the alien dog is an actual dog. I mean, that was part of the kid's charm. Like,
there's a better word for that.
She's innocent and she hasn't been
naive,
jaded like by the world yet, to a degree, and that's part of her character. So Yeah, she kind of has to be
naive and emo.
not
so
educated yet.
I don't expect her, but especially if they want to do a current version, you're going to see obviously phones and iPads and all that kind of stuff. But this would definitely be an awesome thing for a lot of Polynesian actors. Heck, if you're going to go Polynesian, you're going to go Islanders. Guess what? The Rock's going to be in it.
That's what I just said. I said at the beginning of that, but man.
Yeah, but
There you go.
I want to see how it turns out because obviously they've done.
Yeah,
that
I'll watch it.
Damo.
I'm just kind of like, I don't think it needs it, but again, Disney likes money, so they're doing it. Okay, speaking of people who need money, Toys R Us. Toys R Us apparently is canceling their bankruptcy, and they're just rebooting their brand and opening some new stores, which seems weird considering they closed them all down. So there you go.
There was supposed to be rumor on it. It was a work in the industry of storytelling. It was a work. But you never know how it's going to work out in business wise.
Yeah,
they're renaming it.
They basically got some new investors, and they're going with the global license agreement, so they can tell the retail stores across the world. I basically sure they got some new investment money, but somebody got a really good deal.
Did you hear the
on
name
a new
of
toys company?
The name that they're rebranding, if you will.
Wasn't like Jeffrey's R Us or something?
It's close. Jeffrey's Toy Box.
Jeffrey's Toy Box.
So if anything,
which seems less on point, but okay.
I think honestly, for Toys R Us as being as bad as they
or maybe they're just like expanding the brand beyond toys, and they're like, oh, they're doing other things beyond toys, maybe.
Well, they were big enough as is. If anything, in the business world, cut it down to as minimal stores. Be like a brand new company, guys. Many minimal stores as much as possible, because have a solid foundation instead of trying to let's just make more money.
I just don't see that the company fundamental problems are solved with new investment money. I mean, their biggest issue is Amazon. No, it's not really the product. It's that they're faster, more reliable services where people don't have to go to a store and try to look through a big place anymore. Like brick and mortar stores in general are losing market share to places like Amazon because they're super convenient. People can search all day long on their computers or through their phones, and they can just like impulse buy as much as they want, click, and it arrives at their door magically within days. And so there's no like real love for like the experience of going to a toy store necessarily.
You think
for a toy.
Shopping centers would be a lot smaller, more concentrated, more like a mall, and it would be more, I don't want to say wasteland, but more nature friendly. Just have more parks and more things up like that.
I said, like, so brick and mortars are dying because e-stores are just becoming more efficient and more used by everybody as computer technology expands, and it just becomes easier to go click. It's here in 2 days. I don't have to leave my house.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Now, is there any store that God, this is going to sound horrible, that you're waiting for them to die off, or at least something that
GameStop.
As in,
probably like GameStop and like those other like video game specializing stores where like there's really no reason for them to exist.
That's the honest truth.
And like you get different pre-order exclusives. You get better deals for turning in your stuff with other locations. Even if you like went to like what was it, GameFly? Like they give you more money if you trade it into them than you would to GameStop anyways. So there's that marketplace of like potentially like used games and like. That stuff is it's a dead market to me.
Totally, because honestly, I would prefer have a nice big convention of not exploiting or exposing, but showing off their brand new products for something like coming out. Say like obviously this holiday season of stuff that's coming out, instead of having to go to an actual physical store.
Right. I think the only thing like GameStop does is that can't be replicated necessarily by just like a regular computer, like videos, is like the experience of playing a game. And most of the experience, like the only new experience, let's say like it needs to be shown instead of like, or like experiences that are shown is like virtual reality. So if virtual reality takes off, that's probably the only reason like places like GameStop would exist, because you kind of need to experience VR for yourself to kind of get it.
Totally. Because I would love, especially related to the convention and actually going to the store, slap on your 3D headset for especially a certain physical item that you would actually want to look around. Throw on
or with the inclusion of like the wands and everything, you can pick it up and look at it like that and put it down. So definitely that opportunity there. But I think other stores are going to miss. So okay, different entertainment stuff. Lobo is apparently going to be showing up on the second season of Krypton, which got a second season, which is a surprise to me. But they're introducing the character Lobo for that particular series. I think we heard about this from the writer who was on. He came on Fat Man and Batman, which is the Kevin Smith podcast, and he actually disclosed at that point that they reserved Lobo. They took it away from like the CW shows specifically for Krypton, and this is the actor. The actor is going to be Emmett J. Scanlon. And Entertainment Weekly showed what his character's costume is going to look like. Him in full costume. This is your Lobo, essentially dirty space biker.
I mean, Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie in space. Yeah, so there you go.
So we were talking about that. We would love to see, at least I talked about it, wanting to see Lobo in the live action format.
Yeah.
Now that it's there.
We were talking about a whole like actual movie Lobo.
Yes.
Not just like he does a cameo on the pre-Superman world.
What they kind of did it in the animated version.
Yeah, he
because
did,
he was the cameo on it. But looking at him, dude, it's Rob Zombie. It's Rob Zombie. It's him doing a metal cover, whatnot. All that's missing is him with a microphone or a guitar and just him rocking out. Because he is the stereotypical frontman for any kind of metal band that you would see out on the
right, which is kind of what that
circuit.
character is to a degree, but that particular character was always like larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a foe for Superman to a degree, but also like maybe a foil. I'm like, so
Yeah.
this guy definitely doesn't look anyone in the league of Superman
To
at
me,
this particular point. Yeah.
to me, the biggest joke, at least looking at the promo shot that they have there, is really that little skull cod piece or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of alien did you kill? Did you like kill a monkey and just like carved it out just to be able to rock it on your junk?
Yeah.
Because the main thing with me with Lobo, and at least, and this is very limited information that I know from the comic books, but from what I've seen in the animated series, he had this like giant hook with a chain thing on it, and that was kind of, at least to me, his kind of gimmick.
Right.
Gimmick
I
whatnot.
mean, he has a chain there, so we have
Yeah.
some various images of Lobo.
And he was thrown out. He's a lot bigger, a lot bulkier. He was pretty much
No,
like
he's-
a biker in space, like how you just mentioned. Very cool looking dude. Like you think, once again, to me, Rob Zombie in space with like kiss makeup and whatnot.
Sort of, yeah.
But oh wow, he hooked up with Harley Quinn, or at least going for
Could
that
be some
image.
fan art.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, he definitely looks like a badder character
Mm-hmm.
in the comics. But then so do most superheroes. So
Yeah, the only difference in the animated series, I can't think of that actor to save my life, but he had a specific voice. So I'm wondering, just looking at his image alone, I'm thinking they're going to give him an English accent.
maybe could be
Just
the
to make
case.
him classy. But
Well, yes. Well, I mean, Lobo in the animated series sounded very, I don't know, rowdy. Is the very like gruff, like.
that's once again, there's a specific
boss.
voice actor. I know who he is. I just can't think of his name to save my life.
But yeah, so that's a choice for Krypton. I'm not sure if that's enough to make me watch it at this point. But hey, I might.
Something that you totally would see at a Hot Topic.
Yeah. Okay, now speaking of things I'm definitely going to watch, it's going to be Jon Favreau's new live-action Star Wars series called The Mandalorians. So this is, again, the latest Star Wars television series, again, initially directed by Jon Favreau. There are going to be other, like, executive producers and, like, guest directors, including Deborah Chow, who does Jessica Jones, Rick from Yaju, Bryce Dallas Howard from Soulmates, and Taika Waititi from Thor Ragnarok. So a lot of like big names are willing to like do directing for this particular series, and it's just barely started. Like the photo we're showing you now is of a Mandalorian in his armor, so it looks like Boba Fettish, except that he's not Boba Fett. It's just like that's the race of armor that's for that particular like alien race. So
Especially with the name going Mandalorian, this to me feels like this is what the Boba Fett quote unquote movie would have been.
Yeah, definitely could have been. I mean, at some point they can introduce Boba Fett, or Boba Fett could be the main character. Like, as he's training, how does he become the best bounty hunter in the world? Like, how does his role die? How do his people like expand into the larger Star Wars universe?
Exactly. 'Cause
You assume they're going to face some Jedi at some point.
as far as you know, that I know, there hasn't been a specific timeline set for the show. Has
So
there?
it could be anywhere now.
So it's like
it definitely has to
pre-episode.
be. It would have to be before. I want to say even before episode 1, because the Mandalorians are like
Whoa, that early?
they're kind of like a dead race by that point. Like the Mandalorians are a dying race even by episode 1. That's why they contact like the best one of them that's left is
Before they went the genetic clones.
is Jango Fett. Jango Fett's like the best who's left. But like the race as a whole is like dying out. Like that's why you see the older Mandalorian in Rogue One. He's an old man. He's a Mandalorian as well, but he's essentially old. He's already dying.
Yeah.
And so he would be like one of the last like older like survivors.
Yeah, 'cause
like the survival of the race as a whole in the lore of Star Wars, like they're they're like the go-to mercenaries
Yes.
as a species. But like they just started to dying off because they have so many casualties because they get involved in so many wars.
Yeah, because totally analyzing just the armor alone, obviously you don't see the Boba Fett antenna attached to it.
No, but you get
There's
the helmet,
nothing
yeah.
too futuristic, so it's not like it's the advanced version of it.
No,
but it also
everything's very clean looking, so it's not
Yeah.
Boba Fett. It's more Jango Fett.
yeah, it
Looks newer.
It's not too primitive either, so he does have a blaster and whatnot. So
Yeah, they're not that
that's
bad.
why it's hard to determine the
Timeline, right?
exactly for
But
it.
still, that's a fun thing. And it says they're after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges from the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire. Well, now we know timeline. But before the emergence of the First Order, we follow the travels of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. So it's after Episode 3, but before Episode 4.
So I could totally see them.
No. So it's after 6 before 7. Yeah, after 6 before 7.
I could totally see them working a. God, now I'm trying to blank.
And it's following apparently just one Mandalorian.
Yes. No, but the
So I was just totally wrong on the entire thing, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. We have a
Jabba.
timeline.
There you go. I'm sorry, I was drawing a blank. They're definitely going to work within the world of the Jabba the Hutt still being around because they never really aged him. They never say,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's like over 1,000 years old." Or
Yeah, they could do
anything
that. They could probably do something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So he is a
Okay,
bounty
let's
hunter.
see. Chris Evans said goodbye to the Avengers 4. His character playing Captain America, apparently this is the last time he's contractually obligated. He was only going to go to Infinity Wars. And then, he extended his contract for Avengers 4. And so he's done with his shooting. And so he said goodbye, which makes people think, oh, they're killing Captain America again for Avengers 4.
Honestly, I didn't click on the story to get the details, but did you read or at least saw the headline for supposedly Mark Ruffalo being fired?
Oh, that was just like a joke.
Okay, I was wondering what was going
Even
on.
he was supposed to go on the late night show with Jimmy Fallon, I think it was, and he was supposed to give a bunch of spoilers for the show.
Yeah.
And the studio sponsor like, you're fired, Mark Ruffalo, and is all promoting like, oh, like the not real spoilers
Yeah.
that he gave because they blacked out his mouth for everything.
Yeah, because they kind of joked on it because he technically semi-spoiled Infinity War.
He did. No, he actually spoiled it on a live television show, like in another country, I think it was. And the rest of the cast were just like looking at him.
Don
like,
Cheeto saying,
and
"Yeah,
they were-
well, everybody dies."
they played.
Oh, should I
at least
have not
half.
said that?
No, it was like everybody dies, and like, oh no, only half.
Even Don Cheeto was like, "Dude,"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I mean, no."
Yeah, they try to play off that original spoiler, which makes this one, supposed to be funny and everything.
Yeah.
But it was definitely just a joke. Like they're not firing an actor at this point in the stage.
Now for the world of Captain America, Mr. Chris Evans, he did an awesome role. I actually liked him as Captain America.
No, yeah,
he grew on.
He was like the perfect Captain America.
He
to me.
grew on me.
He really was. Like that clean cut, like all American, wholesome looking guy.
As far as it goes, because obviously I acknowledge him more. Honestly, I acknowledge him a lot more in the character as the Human Torch, and also as one of the exes in the Scott Pilgrim, excuse me,
Save the World,
Scott
yeah.
Pilgrim, characters.
Versus
He was
the World,
awesome
yeah.
as that skateboarding boyfriend and everything. He was like, to me, he stuck out more in that kind of world on it. So yes, he'll be missed, but. Do you think, are they going to go the route of obviously in the comic book world, do you think Falcon or Bucky will become...
I'm hoping it's the Punisher.
Huh?
I hope it's the Punisher.
You want the Punisher to
Yeah, I
be
think the Punisher would be a
Captain
great Captain America. It's not this timeline, obviously. It's not this cast.
To me, I think that would be more like Donald Trump's
It's
Captain America.
I'm not
if it
sure.
was
It
the
depends.
Punisher.
Comic universe wise, they both had taken up the mantle of Captain America.
Yes.
As has the Punisher in the second Civil War.
Yes.
That's why I kind of want the Punisher. I just want to see like, oh, they've introduced him, but he's not the Punisher that you know. He's the new Captain America. I think that'd be a nice little. It's not going to happen, obviously, but
Yeah.
That if you asked, that's what I ask. That's what I want. Okay. And here we go. Next one is Cowboy Rambo.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's going to be apparently Rambo 5. Rambo's a cowboy.
Brokeback Rambo.
Yeah, he's working for his friend on the Mexico border. His friend's daughter gets kidnapped, and Rambo has to infiltrate Mexico to get her back. But he starts off as this field hand working for his friend. So there you go. That's Rambo starts off as a cowboy.
It's weird to me because honestly, looking at it visually, I wouldn't, other than Stallone's face, I would have not seen Rambo at all.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not seeing red bandana. I'm not seeing like
No, no.
mullet
I'm assuming
hair.
that's what happens when he goes into Mexico and he takes the fight to them, and he crosses the border to kill the Mexican cartel that kidnapped this guy's daughter. So it almost feels more like Taken than Rambo.
Yes.
But hey, you know,
the cowboy hat.
whatever you got to do, Mr. Stallone, to pay the bills, I don't begrudge it.
I'm all pro having Sylvester Stallone period in Mexico because I can't think of a movie that he's actually portrayed where he's actually in any kind of Latin American country unless it's some, I want to say maybe the, what do you call it? Expendables, but he was just more of an international,
Right.
which international means he could have been anywhere in the world on it. So I would love, other than in Demolition Man, I I haven't really seen Sylvester Stallone speak any kind memory enhancing thing when he learns those new skills. No, where is he speaking it then? when he eats a rat burger.
Oh, he's like, oh, thanks for the okay. Yeah, she said it's a rat burger.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's like, ¿qué es esto? Or something like that. He's like, oh, rata.
Rato.
I'm like, so I'm eating a rat burger.
Yeah, no, tastes good.
All right.
Okay, and other reveals. These last couple of weeks, we our first look at the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and this was a very interesting look. A lot got some criticism from the internet. Joaquin Phoenix said he doesn't care what the internet thinks or the fans. He's just playing a role.
F him.
But this was actually leaked apparently according to like somebody who's on set, somebody who's like watching the film shooting. They leaked the photos originally, and so the director actually took a step forward and actually did a professional, better looking look at a couple characters, including Joaquin Phoenix look as this particular version of the Joker. There are no other like details about what the movie's about. There are of course plenty of fan theories on the internet that this is going to be the Joe Chill kind of origin story for the Joker, where he like dresses up as a costume clown to like rob banks and do other things, and then he's essentially thrown into this vat of acid or whatever, and turned into the Joker. But this would possibly be the prequel, like just gangster Joker, who's still Joe Chill.
Now, have you seen any of the? There's a promotional video. There's actually an on-scene video of him. Which ones have you watched?
I think I've seen them all. But again, I think these particular photos show the best film version of him.
No, because they did almost a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of soundtrack thing where they used it like a really cool, like at the time area. I want to say it's like a 60s, 70s, because that's what I see when I see this current version of the Joker soundtrack, where they had Joaquin Phoenix regular view. They didn't give him the scar, so he's not a Heath Ledger version of it.
Right, no, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and then eventually he dons the makeup on it.
Right, it's kind of like this like face over thing, like right, yeah.
Exactly. And then there's the actual scene where they showed him. He's actually coming out of a subway, and there's these other people around wearing clown masks. Not exactly he's like henchmen or anything, but obviously we don't know much details on the movie, so he could just be doing that because eventually he has a clown mask, takes it off, and obviously he's in his Joker gear. There's been a lot of comparisons to that specific makeup to the Heath Ledger original clown mask from Dark Knight,
right,
and also Pogo. Do you know who Pogo the clown is?
I'm assuming one of the Joker origin stories.
Actually, a real life homicidal maniac that actually killed people.
Are you saying that when there was the real life inspiration for the It clown?
Beyond the clown, whole different guy.
Okay.
We're talking Ted Bundy kind of crazy dude.
Well, no. There's an actual clown murderer. There's the inspiration for the clown from It.
Yes.
Right, and so is that
no, but
is that the
Pogo
one?
clown totally different guy.
Okay, just checking. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Just because
I don't know my serial killers folks in real life, so it's a
no,
fault. I know.
but what do you think? Because honestly, his look wise, it looks like he's literally wearing like a 70s suit to me.
Could be.
And do you think he's going to be like actual like having to deal with a circus, or are they actually going to go the route?
I think they're going to go the gangster because he has to be a criminal first. He can't just be like this random clown. He's going to be that. I think they're going to go with the origin story of him being a criminal gangster who just uses the mask and the stuff to hide his crimes, and that's how it looked. But
so they're not going to.
Something goes wrong with like the gangsters, some inter-gang war thing, whatever, and he's betrayed, and that's how he becomes the Joker.
So they're not going to go with the storyline of him being a actually comic trying to make it and ends up somehow in a chemical bath kind of deal.
I don't think that's what they're going for, but could be wrong. There's several origin stories for the Joker.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find out and see. Last little entertainment minute, then we get into some movie showdowns, is that the Gambit movie is still alive. That's a big surprise to me.
Wow.
The Channing Tatum Gambit movie is still going to be made. Apparently it's going to start filming next year if they could find a director. Yeah. But the Simon Kinberg, the producer on Gambit, said that it's going to be a romantic comedy because that's what Gambit is known for, being a romantic comedy. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like the Rogue Gambit storyline, maybe. I don't know, but that's a very interesting way to go with that.
Cajun love story.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to have Channing Tatum like stripped down. He's a stripper who gets mutant powers. And that's how they're going to work that out. It's going to be a combination of like of that with that
Magic
stripper,
Mike,
Magic Gambit.
Magic Gambit.
Yeah,
card tricks and my junk.
Oh no, it's hard.
Well, that was the thing. Remember, there was the first. Yes, he was acknowledged he's going to be the Gambit character. Then supposedly, the Gambit movie's not going to happen. Then they're like, okay, we're going to keep Gambit.
It's such a weird thing. And this is the latest. I'm like, this is just one more nail. I'm like, this is an interesting twist.
What do you think? Cut their losses? Or no, let's see where it's going to go.
I think they're going to actually make it. Whether it's going to be good or not, we don't know. I mean, they made a Venom movie. They actually made one.
No, but it's not a Venom, a rom-com.
I don't think anybody thought the Venom movie was actually going to get made until they started production. And I think that's the same case here. So we'll have to wait and see. There have been worse movies made with... He's not the worst character in the Marvel universe.
Because I remember a long time ago, Gambit was actually going to be one of the X-Men Origins character movies.
He did show up in the X-Men movies.
Yes, but
it was very briefly, but still.
No. But he was actually going to be an Origin itself movie. Like supposedly they were going to do in
he's a hard
Magneto one.
He's kind of a hard character to do well. Like his backstory isn't like super amazing. Then there's the accent that isn't easy for everybody to do. So
Cajun, so a lot of closed captions kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's not exactly the guy from The Water Boy. He's like, that's me, don't.
That'd be super funny if all his dialogue had subtitles the entire movie because nobody can understand. That would be super funny.
Just hearing Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Okay. So on to movie trailer showdown, folks. Yeah. We got 3, 6, 7 trailers in the last week that are really good, and we're going to see which one we think is the best. We're going to start off with Marvel's Daredevil season number 3. This is the official trailer. This is the one from the Daredevil's point of view, where he's talking and he's actually looking at where he's going, and we get our first look at the new villains for this particular season, including the return of Wilson Fisk, and we also get to see the
as the Kingpin and from what it looks like, Bullseye.
Bullseye is coming back. He's actually going to be a faux Deadpool or a faux Daredevil. There's another like smaller vignette about Bullseye. Have you seen that? Have you seen it yet?
No.
It's like introducing Mr. So-and-so, and it turns out he's Bullseye.
Yeah, because I remember
he's like this sociopathic, like former military guy, and he comes in contact with Wilson Fisk, and Wilson Fisk is out to try to clean up the city and make Daredevil to be the real villain.
Yeah,
and so he sets up Bullseye, spoiler folks, as Daredevil. They put him in the costume and he can start murdering people, and that fulfills Bullseye's sociopathic need to murder people. And here we go. And so that's
obviously until we see season 3, if I'm right, it's either season 1 or season 2. There was a teaser, if you will, where they had a marksman. It must have been like a police officer or something, like some kind of SWAT guy. There, obviously with his sharpshooter gun and everything, but they had the little teaser part. He actually had the playing card.
All right, so it actually says this October, so it's going to come out this month.
Yeah, so they had the playing card out there. It was the whole
Have you seen Have you seen Danny Rand season 2, the Iron Fist?
You know, I need to finish it.
Did you start it?
I started it, and I'm like,
episode 1 and 2, and was like, oh, this is not entertaining.
I know. I was like, oh my god, it's this again. I'm like, just say I'm Danny Rand a bunch of times and bitch about it. Like,
I mean, honestly,
better.
the martial arts is better, but it's mostly because they stopped showing Danny Rand.
Yeah,
they started like showing him like a stunt double who looks a lot like him. And so this is the first time you get to see Bullseye.
Yeah, because I seen the stuff of him kind of donning the legit Iron Fist costume from the comic book, so that's the only reason that I'm kind of really want to watch it.
Okay, next one is Mortal Engines, the official trailer. This one actually tells you a little bit about the plot of the movie, which I'm
because in the first one we were like, where are they going with this?
These are just giant fighting cities, and that's all, what it comes down to, honestly, in this movie is giant fighting cities. But at least there's like a little bit of backstory, like what the main characters are. She apparently has some object, and apparently Elrond is the bad guy.
Yeah, my thing on it, because I'm watching it, especially you had to watch the whole thing. I thought it was like a live action anime. Like it's an anime that they took. That
so you mean like Attila? Like Attila, the battle one?
Yeah. Because I was like, whoa, dude! Especially once they actually showed the cities in motion and everything. Part of me,
this looks very big. I don't really understand why they have to move.
You ever watch Trigun?
Yeah, I've seen Trigun.
They had something similar to it. That's why I was like getting the.
I'm not saying like I don't understand them doing it. I'm saying. In the backstory of this particular world, the world doesn't seem like it's destroyed. Like it's very green, everything's very much there.
Yes.
So why do the cities have to move around? That's kind of the fundamental.
Well, that's
like concept. Like, oh, what's up with this world? And that's not explained here.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I can't think of her name, but the Asian character, her, there you go. That's what especially got me for the Trigun inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
Because she reminded all that she's missing is blonde hair instead of just everything else.
Vash the Stampede-ish.
Oh, totally. Because everything, there was a couple episodes where they was like a mobile city. Looks
super pretty. So that's the thing. So then we have Aquaman, the extended trailer. Now, folks.
Underwater Wakanda, as I like to call it.
That this does spoiler some of the plot points of the movie. So if you don't want to watch it, just like skip ahead about a few minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but just be aware. When I watched the movie, I was like, oh, that actually tells me more about the movie than I wanted to know. Like I was already on board.
What part?
Well, like they actually show parts of the movie, like when they're in the underground city looking for Atlantis, and they're like, oh, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the original city of Atlantis, and we're trying to get you a new trident, and that's going to be the thing that's going to let you like fight against your half brother who's controlling the seas now. Yeah. And so that's like that's probably the first half of the film. That's probably the first like major big plot arcs of that movie, is that she comes from the sea to get him because there's this like movement underwater and then to take out the landlubbers, the land people.
To me, it seemed like a little bit of a joke because especially the lead character that hooks up with the guy, she looks like Nicole Kidman to me, like a blonde Nicole Kidman that hooks up with a Samoan dude.
That is Nicole Kidman.
Is it?
It's Nicole Kidman.
Oh my god! I'm sorry.
So that's the reason she actually looks like Nicole Kidman.
Because it's actually her.
Yeah.
But it looks like it reminds me of Daryl Hannah as the mermaid from Splash.
Yeah, this is
hooking up with a Samoan dude.
This part right here in the trailer is definitely the spoiler part where they're traveling through the desert to underground Atlantis and like, oh, this is where we're trying to find you a trident. And I'm like, this definitely spoils some of the major plot points of the movie.
But the thing is, they're at a desert area, so it's obviously not Atlantis. So it was
it was Atlantis basically. Like when that was underwater thousands of years ago, whatever. Before Atlantis disappeared into like the whatever.
Yeah, because in my mind, in the world of the comics, supposedly Atlantis was its own semi-island that broke off from the mainland, eventually ventured out a little bit, and I forgot exactly the details of why it sank.
In this case, that would be, I think they're going with like, oh, the new Atlantis, the one most of the underwater citizens live on, it was there. But this was original Atlantis when it was above ground, and that was the original king. It looks like Aquaman, right?
Exactly. The part that I didn't understand was why that chick break the thing though. Is like obviously something came out.
It was supposed to like the map of like, oh, this is where this location is.
I thought it was more like,
so she's trying to hide it from the people who are obviously chasing her.
You're not supposed to know about
right? And
that.
so then they go into like, oh, all the battles with the land and the sea. And
there is a lot of CG money.
It's a good 5-minute trailer to me that does spoiler a lot of the movie. So
the part that I did feel like I was like literally watching the movie for a while is the whole running scene between her and not Black Manta, but like a henchman, if you will. It looks like they're running along with each other. It looks like they were chasing one another, but it was like I thought I was watching the movie for a while they were chasing each other. Eventually the henchman blasts her, she falls through and everything, and then eventually a fight scene was going to happen.
Sure.
But
Next trailer is going to be Dark Phoenix.
what do you think?
I like it a lot better.
Really?
No, I like the trailer. I like the tone that it's going for. It feels a little more like the last Dark Phoenix movie.
Okay.
But they're younger at least, and there's aliens. So I'm like, oh, maybe they're actually gonna have a
aliens?
plot. Yeah, remember what's her name? Tatum is in there or something. She plays a Skrull. You don't remember that part of the movie? In the trailer.
In this.
Yeah, well, in the plot line as well, like she approaches her after her Dark Phoenix powers awakens. Like there's some alien signal or something set out, and she comes to Earth, and she's like, "Oh no,
Okay.
they've lied to you your entire life."
All right. None of us know that I know of. Who do you think died?
Right there.
Because there's like a funeral scene.
There she is. But she was right there. That's her. That's the alien.
Yes, but who do you think died though?
Someone she killed. Someone Dark Phoenix kills. It's not going to be.
I want to say it's an X-Men team member. Who do you think died?
Doesn't have to be an X-Men team. It could be anybody. It could be some villain that they were trying to capture and they just murdered them.
No. My question is, who do you think died?
I don't think anyone in the X-Men side died. I think it's just some random bad guy, and she feels bad about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna go like specific. I want to say Quicksilver died.
They'd be a lot more pissed off if that was the case.
The only reason I say Quicksilver probably died, not because of the Avengers and all that kind of stuff.
He was like right there.
Because obviously you haven't seen more scenes of Quicksilver. Because the main thing with Quicksilver is his awesomeness of going so fast that everything was in pause.
He's right there.
And but this could be like pre-funeral scene.
There's Quicksilver. There's Beast. There's Cyclops. There's Storm.
And I gotta admit, I don't like the costumes.
There's Wheels. Well, they look like they're from like the Days of Future Past one, but still.
And the worst part about this movie in general, they're delaying it for some apparent reason.
That was Mystique, yeah.
For some apparent reasons, they're delaying it. I don't know why.
No,
I don't know
well, it's on February.
But
I'm not sure. It's February 14th, 2019.
I heard they were postponing until summer.
I guess they might. I know they're doing reshoots.
Oh, wow. Something.
I don't think it's a lot of reshoots, but still.
Yeah. Because they're not actually going even though you said Alien, I don't know. They're going to have like the Lalandra route. So who knows if they're going to go that way. And
yeah, but I like it. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like too hokey.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it feels like with almost mental illness in some respect. So I'm like, yeah, works out for me. No, I don't want to.
Do it. No, I'm just kidding.
So then we have our next trailer, which is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. This one's coming out in Christmas, I think. I know it's released November 16th, so a bit
in
over
time
like
before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So last time they went out for Christmas, this time they're going for Thanksgiving.
Because I got family members.
You saw the trailer, right?
Yes,
What'd you think of it?
saw them all. I definitely got family members that want to go check it out. Honestly, it looked really good, and once again, just like in the
I actually like this one better than the first one. I think the story is better than the first one.
And they had a lot more money to spend on this one because I swear I was checking it out. I'm like, oh my god!
As soon as you introduce Dumbledore and the original,
and he's
Hogwarts,
still young, so it's still young. So they didn't go like, oh, now 30, 40 years in the future and Dumbledore, because Dumbledore's still young. He's still rocking a beard, but it's nowhere like Harry Potter. Like
no, he's like slightly middle aged.
Exactly, because even in the Harry Potter movie, I don't know. The thing that's going to connect
more people to this movie than the first one is that they go to Hogwarts.
That's the thing, especially once you saw those candles, once you saw the Great Hall, it was like, oh, they're going home.
Yeah,
for all the Potter
that's
fans.
The thing they're going to do. They're also going to introduce the Ministry of Magic, and so I think that's going to connect more people to this one. And the Harry Potter film. Like a lot of the Harry Potter fans until the first one like, oh, this doesn't feel like a Harry Potter film because it doesn't take place in England. It doesn't have like a bunch of like familiar magical terms. So, they tried to Americanize it in some respect. And
because they did go to the Americas.
Yeah, and that's where the movie took place.
I haven't watched it.
So it's like book 2 still takes place in the U.S., but it also goes back to Hogwarts and it takes place on a more international scale.
Now, main character wise, where is he from? Like, I'm talking about
the main guy.
Yeah,
he's from England. He's from so he's English. That's why he's the accent.
Once again, I haven't watched the movie, so I can't.
Yeah, he was the guy who created the book for Magical Beasts that Harry Potter uses.
Oh, okay.
He's the writer of that book. He's an expert in like Magical Beasts and that kind of stuff. And that's how they connect it to the Harry Potter movies. Like, oh, the guy who wrote that book, who's the textbook at Hogwarts. Here's a movie about him. And they connect into, of course, like the larger lore, like Dumbledore defeating Grindelwald in the United States and during whatever like years, and it being this big thing about finding the Dark Lord.
Do you think they're gonna like a la Star Wars and go prequel to the point that they're gonna get to that one movie that's gonna be the in between Harry Potter. Like I want to say, okay, so technically that's the second Fantastic Beasts movie. Do you think they're gonna do a third one where they're actually gonna show the parents of Harry Potter or the birth of Harry Potter before it links it?
I do think they're going to do a third movie in this franchise. But that's just because they need a trilogy, and that's what it's expected, and they like money.
Yes. So do you think Baby Harry?
This doesn't go that far into the future.
Oh wow!
It's definitely set. The first one was set in the 1920s. You know what I mean? So it's into the 30s and 40s, maybe, I guess. But like it's set during Prohibition.
Okay, so
it's not going that far in the future.
Maybe the parents of Harry Potter.
Maybe, I don't know. There you go. The next trailer is going to be Holmes and Watson. This is a comedy, featuring Will Ferrell and other guy.
So Step Brothers during the Gaslight era.
Sort of, yeah. Kind of, yeah. They've done a couple movies together. This one actually seems...
Alligator Nights.
The period piece almost makes it more entertaining because a lot of the other films still do like these really campy costumey stuff, but this one at least kind of makes sense in that the period piece costumes are on their own level of entertainment. So it's funny to me, at least. I plan to watch it.
I was kind of hoping, even though this is obviously the whole take on Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
I don't know because obviously I'm just going by the trailer alone. A cameo from both Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. as the other Sherlocks in there.
That would actually really be funny. I think that
just for the joke.
That'd be a good plan, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But what'd you think of it? Did you worth actually
like somebody calls out Holmes and they all look around.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you."
Yeah. Okay, I liked it. I thought it was really funny.
I think it was missing some stuff on it, but for normal
like I said,
comedy, not everybody gets the joke.
Slapstick humor. So last trailer, Creed 2. This one was out weeks and weeks ago, so we just kind of missed it. But it actually shows off Ivan Drago.
It definitely gives you that Rocky feel that you want to get up, you want to go to the gym, you actually want to do.
This is more like
some sit-ups and push-ups.
This would be more like Rocky 3 when he goes to Siberia to train against the guys. Yeah,
hearts on
and this one different has the same kind of vibe. Like, you're going against the Russian,
I'm gonna kill you.
But you're also doing like this weird outdoorsy kind of training for some reason.
Yeah, in the desert. Dang.
Yeah, and they definitely look up the vibe of like, they're definitely playing on the Russian aspect.
There is a scene, I think it might be coming up right now, where he there you go, right there. I'm taking the fight. I totally saw his character from Black Panther right there. It's like all he was missing is literally those braid dread things that he had going on, dude. I totally saw that character right there. I was like,
in shape.
Oh my God.
Why not film both at the same time? Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. So it looks good.
Victor Drago. There's Ivan.
There you go. Dolph Lundgren. He's definitely in the movie, so he's there. I don't think Brigitte Wilson. I don't think she's going to be in the movie.
Which one's that?
If you remember the original Rocky movie, she was the wife / trainer / manager for Ivan Drago. She was a short-haired, blonde, stereotypical kind of like Russian lady.
Oh yeah, you mean the restaurant?
Yeah. Brigitte Wilson. So because
I thought they already said she was going to be in this movie.
Well, once again, I don't know. So
I mean, you have Ivan Drago. Why not have her come in as well?
Well,
just because they're showing the trailer doesn't mean she's
in
not.
the real world, she's kind of out there as a person. So
money is very nice in calming most of those things down.
No, but you get through all the money in the world if you're crazy.
She's already kind of wealthy. I know. She has a nice life. Yeah, she has. She's married to some rich guy.
If she's gone bad hooking up with Mr. Flavor Flav.
No, that was like really long time ago. She's married and she has like a kid.
Yeah, well, hopefully that settled her down.
No, I'm just saying, like she has like a real life where she's married to somebody who's like in industrial like finance or something. I can't remember.
Well,
she's married to a rich dude.
I definitely want to see her.
He's like 20 years. She's like 20. He's 20 years younger than her. So, but she still looks good. So I don't doubt it.
No, the one trailer that we don't have that I brought it up to you that I really want to see, and it's totally kind of something semi-related with everything.
Sure.
Is the elegant
Laurel and Hardy.
Well,
we think we saw that the last time we were here, so I think we already showed it off. But
yeah, but it's John C. Reilly. It's totally like. Did you ever watch the?
It's the same guy we just saw.
Yes.
In that other trailer, he's just in a lot of makeup.
Yes, but I'm talking about like. You ever watch the semi-biographical movie of the Three Stooges?
I don't think I did. I mean, I'm sure there's been several.
It's very similar to, obviously.
But no, it's a good. I mean, I've seen the trailer. I know the movie we're talking about. It looks really good. It really does. I like those characters. Logan Hart are classic staples of early American comedy and film. They went from black and white, soundless to sound, and they're like a very critical stage of like American cinematic history.
Yeah.
Where it's going from like silent films to color to like to sound, and they're icons.
Yeah, they're definitely
and
good.
so it's really nice to see like behind the scenes look at like their relationships and the fact that they just didn't do film, that they went on tours around the world and they're super worldwide famous, except that they weren't eventually. And,
Yeah,
and that kind of like loss of fame as sound and movies and color came into the world.
Yeah, because I love the history on it. Because especially when it's very similar to the world of the Three Stooges, how they met, and they were literally a vaudeville act, which they started off on there before they eventually got signed to some movie studio and started going off from the really basic black and white film era.
Right.
So it's a little bit after Charlie Chaplin, but it's around the same time as the Three Stooges, and it became just awesome. It was like, oh my god, it's more of the history of it's very behind the scenes, because obviously it's a documentary more or less on their lives.
Well, it's an entertainment documentary, but yeah.
I feel, honestly, I haven't seen it, but it has that quality that I feel it's going to be one of those Oscar-worthy, and I'm calling it really early movies.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly is probably the most serious character. It's still being funny, though, but it's one of the things like, oh, he's already a big guy, but they also like they made him much bigger for that character, and it's kind of seems he disappears into the character, which is one of those Oscar kind of contender moments.
Definitely.
So I think you're absolutely right. He has a good chance. But going back to our movie trailer showdowns, 7 trailers. Which one was your favorite?
Many. Yep. Come on, the shortest we've had was 3. Now to divide around 7.
Yeah, so one winner, man. What was your favorite?
The jock in me wants to go Creed 2, but the geek in me, Daredevil.
Okay, Daredevil for you. I'm actually going with Dark Phoenix. I think it was enough of a surprise for me.
I want to love Dark Phoenix. I love the X-Men.
I hope it's going to be a good... I mean, I'm generally hoping it's going to be better than the last Dark Phoenix, and that it's actually going to be an interesting story.
But isn't this supposed to be...
Instead of murdering Charles Xavier at the beginning of the movie, it's going to be entertaining.
But isn't this supposedly... This is the last X-Men, at least film... / Disney unknown. Franchise owning kind of deal.
Absolutely unknown at this point. This is the last one that Fox has in the bank that they had creative control of, the one that they were working on. Mm-hmm. Now that Disney's going to own Fox potentially, assuming merger goes through in the next few months. They haven't said that they're killing this cast off. It's still a relatively young cast, so we don't actually know.
Right. In my mind, I feel if they're going to go the Disney route, it's going to go reboot. But if they continue, what would you like to see?
Other means like merging with the regular MCU universe. You could do crossovers with Fantastic Four, whoever, or like the regular other MCU characters. I would love to see like mix and match, or to even like single characters go from here to somewhere else. Like do another Infinity War. It's just like, oh look, now you have the X-Men, the Secret Wars, or whatever, or the Scroll. The Scroll Wars might be the next thing that they're doing, because they're introducing the Skrulls with Captain Marvel.
Well, the two main bad guys in the X-Men universe that I want to see that they have not used yet is, of course, Mr. Sinister and Omega Red. So eventually, however they decide to work them in, that's what I want to see. Okay,
well, that's it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 winners: Marvel Daredevil Season 3, which will be out this month in October, and Dark Phoenix, both really good properties from Marvel. So there we go. Okay, that's it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. If you like the podcast and want to support us in any way, shape, or you can always go to geekbytespodcast.com/support and find us out there. But thank you very much for listening, for watching, for hanging out with us while we geek out. I'm Ramon Mejia for Geek Bytes Podcast.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And remember, folks, until we can hang out again, remember to go geek out about something. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you. Mm-hmm.